I'm Aurora Martinez, a 26-year-old graphic designer, and this happened just 4 months ago. I'm sharing this story because serial cheaters and emotional manipulators need to be exposed, especially when they're destroying multiple women's lives simultaneously. My best friend Maya Johnson and I had been close since college. She was the sweetest, most trusting person I knew, and she always saw the best in everyone. Maya had been single for 2 years after a bad breakup, so when she met Logan at a coffee shop, I was genuinely happy for her. Logan seemed perfect on paper. He was 29, worked as a financial advisor, drove a nice car, and was incredibly charming. He would bring Maya flowers, take her to expensive restaurants, and constantly tell her how special and different she was from other women he dated. Maya was completely smitten. She would text me constantly about Logan's romantic gestures and how he made her feel like the only woman in the world. She started talking about their future together after just 3 months of dating, and Logan seemed equally committed. What made Logan so convincing was his attention to detail. He remembered everything, Maya told him, celebrated small milestones in their relationship, and integrated himself into her friend group and family. He appeared to be the devoted boyfriend she had always wanted. Logan's system was sophisticated and carefully planned. He would schedule his time with Maya around his work commitments and family obligations. He was always available for her, but there were specific windows when he would be completely unreachable. The first red flag I noticed was Logan's phone behavior. He would never leave his phone unattended around Maya, and he would always step outside to take certain calls. When Maya asked about it, he would claim it was work-related or family drama that he didn't want to burden her with. I initially dismissed my suspicions as overprotectiveness toward Maya. Logan seemed genuinely caring, and Maya was happier than I had seen her in years. I didn't want to ruin her relationship based on vague feelings of unease. The discovery happened by complete accident. I was at a downtown restaurant with my coworker when I saw Logan at a corner table having what looked like a romantic dinner with a beautiful blonde woman. They were holding hands, and she was wearing what appeared to be an engagement ring. I was shocked and confused. Maya had told me Logan was visiting his sick mother that evening. I watched from across the restaurant as Logan kissed this woman goodbye and helped her into his car. This was clearly not a business meeting or family obligation. I didn't know what to do with this information. I couldn't immediately tell Maya without more evidence, but I also couldn't ignore what I had seen. I decided to investigate further before potentially destroying my best friend's relationship. Over the next 2 weeks, I started casually tracking Logan's social media activity and public appearances. I discovered that he had multiple Instagram accounts under slightly different names, and he was posting photos with different women on each account. The deeper I dug, the more horrifying the truth became. Logan wasn't just cheating on Maya, he was simultaneously dating 3 different women, all of whom believed they were in exclusive, committed relationships with him. Logan had created completely separate lives for each relationship. He told Maya he worked downtown and lived in a condo near the financial district. He told the second woman, Jessica, that he was a real estate agent who lived in the suburbs. He told the third woman, Sophia, that he was a marketing consultant who traveled frequently for work. Each woman had a different version of Logan's background story. He had memorized detailed fake histories about his family, his career, and his past relationships. He was essentially living as 3 different people simultaneously. The most disturbing discovery was Logan's financial manipulation. He had been borrowing money from all 3 women for various emergencies and investment opportunities. He owed Maya $3,000, Jessica $5,000, and Sophia $2,500. He was funding his lifestyle by exploiting their trust and affection. Logan's schedule was a masterpiece of deception. He had Maya on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings. Jessica got Tuesday and Thursday nights. Sophia was reserved for weekends when he claimed to be traveling for work. He had created a rotation system that prevented the women from ever crossing paths. I realized Logan was planning something major when I overheard him on the phone talking about making it official with someone. He was discussing engagement rings and venue bookings. I initially thought he was planning to propose to Maya, but then I discovered the horrifying truth. Logan was planning to propose to all 3 women. He had purchased 3 different engagement rings and was planning to propose to each woman during the same weekend. He apparently believed he could maintain 3 simultaneous engagements without anyone discovering his deception. The proposal plan was insane. He was going to propose to Maya on Friday night, Jessica on Saturday afternoon, and Sophia on Sunday evening. He had booked different restaurants and had elaborate stories prepared for why each woman needed to keep the engagement private initially. That's when I decided to destroy Logan's entire operation. I couldn't let him emotionally devastate 3 innocent women and potentially trap them in fake engagements. I also couldn't let him continue stealing money from people who trusted him. I started documenting everything. I created detailed timelines of Logan's activities, collected screenshots of his multiple social media accounts, and gathered evidence of his financial manipulation. I also started discreetly following him to confirm his patterns. The evidence was overwhelming. Logan had been living a triple life for over a year. He had elaborate systems for managing his lies, including separate phones, different email addresses, and even different wardrobes for each relationship. I discovered that Logan's real name was actually Logan Mitchell, not Logan Stevens as he had told Maya. He had been using false identities with all 3 women, and his actual job was as a part-time insurance salesman, not the successful professional he claimed to be. Logan's apartment was another elaborate deception. He was actually living in a studio apartment in a cheaper part of town, but he had been using errand rentals and friends places to create the illusion of different living situations for each woman. The most shocking discovery was that Logan had done this before. I found evidence that he had simultaneously dated multiple women in his previous city before moving here. He was the serial relationship scammer who moved locations when his lies became too complicated to maintain. Armed with this evidence, I developed a plan to expose Logan during his proposal weekend. I wanted to ensure all 3 women discovered the truth simultaneously, and I wanted Logan to face immediate consequences for his elaborate deception. First, I contacted Jessica and Sophia through anonymous social media accounts. I sent them evidence of Logan's other relationships without revealing my identity. I wanted them to start questioning his honesty before the proposal weekend. I also prepared comprehensive evidence packages for each woman, including photos, timeline documents, and financial records. I wanted them to understand the full scope of Logan's deception and manipulation. My plan was to coordinate a simultaneous exposure during Logan's proposal weekend. I would ensure that all 3 women learned the truth at the same time, preventing Logan from manipulating any of them individually. The most challenging part was protecting Maya emotionally while ensuring she learned the truth. I knew this would devastate her, but I also knew that marrying Logan would destroy her life completely. On Friday evening, I followed Logan to the restaurant where he was proposing to Maya. I had arranged for Jessica and Sophia to accidentally arrive at the same location at the same time. I wanted Logan to be caught red-handed in his deception. The confrontation was explosive. Maya was in the middle of saying yes to Logan's proposal when Jessica walked into the restaurant and saw them together. Jessica immediately recognized Maya from Logan's social media photos and realized what was happening. Sophia arrived moments later, having received my anonymous message about Logan's location. She walked into the restaurant to find Logan on one knee with Maya, while Jessica was standing nearby in shock, holding her own engagement ring. Logan tried to control the situation by claiming there was a misunderstanding, but the evidence was undeniable. All 3 women were holding identical engagement rings, and they'd all had similar stories about Logan's romantic promises and future plans. I stepped forward and presented the evidence I had collected. I showed them Logan's multiple social media accounts, his financial manipulation records, and documentation of his systematic deception. The truth was undeniable. Logan's reaction was pathetic. He tried to claim that he loved all 3 of them, and that he was confused about his feelings. He insisted that he had never meant to hurt anyone, and that he was planning to choose one of them eventually. The women were devastated but also furious. Maya was crying, Jessica was shouting, and Sophia was demanding to know how long the deception had been going on. Logan had destroyed 3 relationships simultaneously. The aftermath was swift and decisive. All 3 women immediately ended their relationships with Logan and demanded their money back. They also contacted Logan's employer to report his fraudulent behavior and identity theft. Logan tried to flee the city, but the women had already filed police reports for fraud and identity theft. He was arrested at the airport attempting to leave town with cash he had stolen from all 3 relationships. The legal consequences were severe. Logan was charged with multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and financial manipulation. He was also sued by all 3 women for emotional distress and financial damages. Maya was heartbroken but grateful that she had discovered the truth before marrying Logan. She realized that she had been living in a complete fantasy and that Logan had never truly loved her. She also recovered her $3,000 through the legal proceedings. Jessica and Sophia were equally devastated but relieved to escape Logan's manipulation. They had both been planning to introduce Logan to their families and had been making major life decisions based on their fake relationships. The investigation revealed that Logan had been running similar scams in multiple cities. He had a pattern of dating multiple women simultaneously, borrowing money from them, and then disappearing when his lies became too complicated to maintain. Logan was sentenced to 18 months in prison and ordered to pay full restitution to all his victims. He was also required to undergo psychological evaluation and treatment for his manipulative behavior patterns. The case made local news as a warning about dating scams and emotional manipulation. Several other women came forward with similar stories about Logan's deceptive behavior in previous cities. 6 months later, Logan is in prison and will likely face additional charges from other victims. His reputation is completely destroyed, and he will be registered as a con artist in multiple states. Maya has recovered emotionally and started dating again, but she's much more cautious about trusting new partners. She now recognizes red flags and insists on transparency in relationships. Jessica and Sophia have both moved on with their lives and remained friends after bonding over their shared experience. They occasionally check in with Maya, and all 3 women have become advocates for dating safety awareness. I used my experience to help other women identify relationship scams and emotional manipulation. I started a blog about dating red flags and have helped several women escape similar situations. The most important lesson from this experience is that if someone seems too perfect or has unusual restrictions on their time and privacy, they might be hiding something significant. Trust your instincts about inconsistencies in their stories. I also learned that emotional manipulation often involves isolation tactics and financial exploitation. Logan had been systematically separating each woman from their support systems while stealing their money. The real victory wasn't just exposing Logan, it was protecting 3 innocent women from a lifetime of deception and emotional abuse. Logan's web of lies would have eventually collapsed, but not before causing much more damage. Logan thought he was untouchable because he had successfully juggled multiple relationships for months. He believed his charm and manipulation skills made him invincible. But systematic deception always has vulnerabilities. The investigation revealed that Logan had been planning to eventually abandon all 3 women and move to another city with their money. He wasn't planning to marry any of them, he was planning to disappear with their savings and start the scam again elsewhere. Sometimes I think about all the women who might have been Logan's future victims in other cities. They're safe now because we exposed him before he could move on to destroy more lives. Maya, Jessica, and Sophia have all learned to value honesty and authenticity in relationships. They've become stronger people who won't tolerate deception or manipulation from future partners. The revenge was complete, but more importantly, justice was served. Logan can't manipulate any more women, and his network of lies was completely dismantled. The dating scam industry lost a major predator. That's the real victory, not just getting revenge on Logan, but protecting other potential victims from experiencing what these 3 women went through. In the end, the truth always comes out, and manipulators always face consequences, no matter how elaborate their deceptions might be.